What's up, future me? It's you from the past here making a video. It's not just for you, it's actually for our friend Jugi because he had questions about our e-bikes, Lectric XP4. As you know, we have two of them, and hopefully when you're watching this in the future, we will have gotten years of service out of these. But as of now, we have owned these bikes for, I believe it's been 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. This is my wife's bike. This is my bike. My bike has these pannier bags on it, which are pretty cool. So I'm set up and talk some things through about what's going on with the Lectric XP4. So this is an e-bike, obviously. It's a folding bike. And the way that you fold it is there's a latch right here. You pull this to release it, grab it by the middle, and it folds like so. So, oops. Folds down the middle. When you fold it down the middle like this, you reveal where the access to the battery is. So it's got this little got that little underframe right there where when you fold the bike, that's how it rests. Folds like this roughly. It's not folding completely because my pannier bag, as you can see right there, is kind of getting in the way. But you also have this, this upper stem. Folds down. Take my helmet off. Might as well put this thing on. So that pretty much right there is the extent to how this guy folds. Kind of see it. Obviously, if I didn't have this pannier bag, it would fold even better, but that's how it folds. You can lower the seat here, and it weighs 67 pounds, so it isn't exactly light, but it folds down compact enough. Show you what this size looks like from this vantage point, upper, looking down. Gives you an idea, right, of where you might be able to fit this. There are videos out there, Lectric, showing off that you can fit 2 of these side by side inside of like an SUV. I've done that a couple times. My Rivian, only downside to that is like, you know, dirt from your tires, all this other stuff. And then there's also the strain of like picking it up because this thing does weigh 67 pounds. So because it is a folding bike, and I'll go through this, because this is a folding bike, there is added weight, you know, there's an inherent, I guess, structural compromise to make a bike fold like this. So in order to compensate for that, they have to make the frame really beefy and really heavy. So when you look at comparable fixed frame e-bikes, I think on average they're between 15 and 20 pounds lighter. So if you didn't really need this folding mechanism or this folding feature, a comparable e-bike to this would probably weigh, I don't know, like 45 pounds or something. So at 67 pounds, this is kind of difficult to carry around. But it does have a really good battery, really good range. I believe the starting price for this model is called the Lectric XP4, is $999. And this is actually an upgraded version of it. So this has a more powerful motor. The motor is inside of the rear wheel right there. Hub motor, I believe it was like 1250 watts, and it has the upgraded battery. So on their website, they claim that you can get up to 80 miles of range with this e-bike. Based on my experience, I would say that 80 miles of range is possible and realistic if you're in the lowest power setting for your pedal assist. Because you have pedal assist and you have throttle. That's how these e-bikes work. So when you turn it on, see here's a screen here, miles per hour, and then you've got this off right here shows you where your pedal assist is at. So if you push up, you go to Eco, it's level 1, Tour's level 2, Sport's level 3, Sport Plus 4, and then Turbo is 5. When you're in Turbo, it really feels like you're a child and your mom or your dad or whoever it was who was teaching you how to ride a bike is like pushing you from behind. That's what Turbo feels like. But when you're all the way down here in Eco, it's like barely there. It's not until you're like really in the rhythm of riding that you realize, oh wait, I'm going a little faster than I should be, or I'm not as tired as I should be probably. But if you were to stay in Eco and you were going on really flat terrain and you're putting a lot of effort in as far as pedaling, maybe you could make 80 miles, but you might have seen my video the other day where I rode for like 4.5 hours, 40 miles up and down hills, going through all these different settings, and I got 40 miles of range out of that, which, you know, it's pretty stressful, pretty high intensity workout despite having the e-bike and its power. So this is where you access the battery. I already showed you how it folds. So when you fold it open, that's how you can take the battery out. It is kind of nice, or this is one of the things that I liked about this, was that the battery is inside of the frame, so it feels like it's more protected from the weather, but that does have its disadvantages compared to other e-bikes where the battery is like mounted on the outside. The biggest one is that like you have to open the bike in order to get the battery, and getting the battery can be a little awkward because the main thing that keeps the battery in there is a key. So you have a key that goes here and you unlock this. But once you unlock that, now there's nothing keeping the battery in there. So when you open it up, the battery could just slide out. So you have to be like judicious about opening it carefully, making sure the battery doesn't just slide out, or you open it and then you unlock it, but then, you know, the hinge is here. So now your keyhole is on the inside of the bike being folded. You know, just when you're moving something around that weighs 67 pounds, it's another thing to consider maneuvering. This is the access port for the battery. So you got the switch here to turn it on and off, and then you got this plug. So you can plug it in and charge the battery while the battery's in the bike, or you can take the battery out of the bike and you can, you know, walk the battery up to your room or your apartment or wherever else and plug it in and charge it there. This screen, I believe, comes off. Yeah, it does. So these are connectors for the screen, so you could take your screen off if you really wanted to secure that. And I have a couple of accessories here just to make sure you don't think that this come with the bike. Like this side view mirror was an accessory that I bought on Amazon, as was this phone holder. And this is an accessory mount for the Action 5, which I'm filming this video on right now. Anyways, that's my rough overview of this lectric XP4 that, wait, I just turned it off. Why did I just turn it off? How far have I driven on this now? So this plus and minus covers your pedal assist modes, right? And this thumb right here is the throttle. So if you're in Tour, you know, you can kind of hear it. So you do have a throttle on this bike too, and that's really handy for getting started. Like if you're at a dead stop, it's really nice to use the throttle to get you going, and then you can kind of pedal into it. I think that's like one of the bigger pains of riding a regular bike is when you come to stop signs and then having to rebuild your rhythm and your speed, you know. But you go through here, this is, you know, left turn or right turn, left turn. Does come with lights. Let me show that. Obviously it's not going to show very well because it's nighttime, but you do have these turn signals on, which is pretty neat. Here, turn that on. Turn signal. So yeah, got a left turn signal. Pretty cool. Nice to be able to signal to people. Oh yeah, center button. So there's my odometer, 131 miles in the 3 weeks since I've owned this. And you can see your trip time, cadence, cycle through, input power. So this is how much power the bike is estimating you're putting in versus how much power the motor is putting out. Yeah, those are some of the things you can cycle through. You got 8 gears. One of the nicest things, in my opinion, about e-bikes is that sometimes it's just more convenient to get around on a bike in this compact form factor than it is to, I wonder, did you see the dent in my helmet? Yeah, dent in my helmet from when I got into a scooter accident. That's another story. Anyway, It's nice to get around on a bike because it's more compact, easier to get around oftentimes than in a giant car or SUV. It's really fun to ride around. And when you've got an e-bike like this, it's kind of like choose your own adventure as far as how much work you want to do, how much of a workout you're trying to get versus how much you're prioritizing getting to wherever it is you're going. Because between the different levels of pedal assist and your gears, you can really put in as much work as you want and get there, you know, tired, exercised, or like relatively in good shape. I mean, as long as it's not super hot and disgusting outside, the weather's nice, you're not gonna bust a huge sweat getting to where you're going if you don't want to. And that's the thing that I really like about these e-bikes thus far. I'm really looking forward to traveling with these. I'm gonna have this like mode of traveling where I'll have this on the rack, which there's my bike carrier rack that I put on my SUV, where we'll drive the R1S to like the level 2 charger, plug it in, pull the bikes off, and then ride around and explore the town, explore the nearby area. So I guess that's about covers what I wanted to show you. I guess I could show you this pannier bag. This is also a accessory, as you can see. My wife's bike doesn't have it. So this is the rack that Lectric sends you stock, comes with the bike. They also give you this, this is a slide lock, so nice stuff, comes with the bike. But I bought this pannier bag to carry more stuff in it. It can fit a decent amount of things. I think each side was like 20 liters or so. And the way it's secured on there is with these 4 connection points, so these straps. So it's really easy to take on and off. You could like undo those and pick this up and carry it into wherever it is you're going, coffee shop or stuff. There's like an interesting debate that I've seen in like other bicycle related YouTube channels where they talk about like, ooh, is it better to have a backpack on your back or to put all your stuff in a pannier bag and then just carry the pannier bag in? Because, you know, when you carry it, it really is kind of like a piece of luggage. You can imagine that, right? And you could fit cameras, computers, whatever else in there. It's not completely weatherproof, weather resistant, if I'm honest. But one thing that I do have in here right now is I got my click chairs. These are a really cool camping chair. I was able to fit that in here, which was awesome. And I'm looking forward to doing little day trips with these bikes, you know, like got the EV plugged into the level 2 charger. And then we can take the bikes out, load it up, blanket, chairs, even have a shade canopy that I'm pretty sure I'll be able to carry on these bikes. And we can go out to, you know, some nice regional parks and stuff, go out, have picnics. Yeah, this is exciting. Anyways, Jugi, I hope that this was insightful for you and this provided some of the information that you were looking for. And be really curious to find out if you ultimately do decide to get an e-bike. Doesn't have to be this model. There's a lot of really good e-bikes out there. And yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I would say is if I could do this again, is that I originally got these XP4s because I thought that I was going to use, I have a different rack. So here's my cargo rack, right? I have this cargo rack. This is what I've used on the Model Y for years, carrying additional stuff. And this is actually the cargo bag that goes with it. I got like camping gear in there. So I got these folding bikes thinking that we would fold them. We would transport them by folding them up and putting them on this rack. And very quickly, we found out that that would not be a sustainable solution because folding the bikes, picking them up, putting them on there, it's a pain in the butt, man. It's a pain in the butt. And ultimately, that's why we got like a dedicated bike rack carrier that goes on the hitch. So if you have this, then the killer feature of the folding bike, the fact that it folds, is no longer really necessary. So if you're really like thinking about getting into these e-bikes and you're thinking about different ways to carry them around, if you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna get a rack like this and carry it on a rack versus folding them up versus like putting them in your actual car, which definitely has a downside. I mean, First off, folding these, picking them up, lifting them, it's not easy. I mean, 67 pounds, that's a decent amount of weight. I mean, I've seen you in your workout videos. I'm sure 67 pounds is a lot lighter for you than it is for me. But at some point, it's not just about the total weight, the total weight of the bike. It's the unwieldiness and the awkwardness of it. And it's the fact that, like, it's a bike. It's riding on dirt trails. You're gonna go on dirt trails. You're gonna go into parks and stuff. And folding it up like that means you're gonna get all that dirt on yourself. You're gonna get all that dirt into your vehicle, you know? So it becomes like a whole operation, rigmarole, whatever, to fold up the bike, lay out a tarp in your car, or make the time to clean out your car again if you're gonna fold up the bike and put the bike in the car, right? And that all translates to the bike is now 20 pounds more versus if you get a fixed frame, and if you get one of these, you might as well just get a fixed frame. You can carry it with this. I suppose there is another potential consideration of like the storage situation in your house. Like it's easier to store a folding bike like in a house, or it takes up less space, but that almost seems secondary. It's primarily about convenience factor and transportation, right? Like if you're gonna go in on getting a rack like this, which I think this was like $250. So, you know, it does add up for what you're trying to do, get into this hobby or whatever. Though it does save in terms of convenience. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all the stuff that I had to share. Oh, I guess I could point out this is a step over model. This is a step through model, right? Slight differences. Maybe that's how you can tell this is his, that one's hers. But overall, loving the e-bikes thus far. It's been insanely fun. And I hope you found this interesting and that this provided some more context and information for you. And I'm curious to see what you find out. And future me, if you're watching this, I'm curious to know when I become you, how many years we have gotten out of these bikes. If we're still rolling around on these in like 2030, 2032, 2035, and on and on and on, right? Because electric motors basically live forever, and the fact that the battery on this is swappable means that we could be on our like second or third battery in 7 years or something, still riding around on these electric XB4s. Wouldn't that be awesome? I can't wait to become you in the future and find out. Now I'm turned around. All right, that's it.